Hello Gemini, welcome to your June reading. I hope you are doing really well. Thank you so much for joining me. So we'll talk a little bit about the astrology before we get into the reading. So on the 3rd, Mercury goes direct in the sign of Taurus. It's currently been in retrograde in your sign, and now as of the 3rd it is going direct in the sign of Taurus, and this is firmly and finally moving forward from a stagnating place, and I think it's about time that, you know, delays are kind of done and long periods of stagnation are over. Plans can finally be made for the future. As of the 4th, Saturn goes into retrograde in Aquarius, and I think it's quite important, and I think you'll feel how necessary it is to build and set boundaries, especially when it comes to other people, your relationships, your social sphere, in order just to better connect with yourself. And this might be a period where you want to seek out isolation or your own company at least. And it is really just more so about connecting with yourself than anything else at the moment. On the 13th, Mercury re-enters your sign, and finally it's time to party. It's absolutely time to take a holiday, go and chat up people, have a chit chat, catch up on some gossip, socialize, and just have a good time. On the full moon is on the 14th is the full moon in the sign of Sagittarius, and just like, you know, Mercury going into Gemini, this is about having fun. This is where the party begins, and this is about having a really good time. On June the 21st, the sun enters Cancer, and this is also the day of the summer solstice. It's the longest day of the year. So for the next 4 weeks, you'll be shifting your attention to protecting yourselves, your homes, your families. On the 22nd, Venus in Gemini is an energy of what I'd like to call the ultimate fuckboy. It's exciting but fickle, it's sociable, it's a sign of flirting and having more so an intellectual love affair that probably burns out as quick as it started. There is a new moon in the sign of Cancer on the 28th, and again, more focus on the home and the community. Neptune also happens to be going on retrograde this day in the sign of Pisces. And it's a lot to do with distinguishing fact from fiction. So Gemini, deep breath in for me, and let's get into June 2022. I have to take this. That's the Ace of Swords. So Gemini, I feel like the month of June, you're definitely cutting certain ties, you're certain cords, you're kind of, I think, doing the empowering thing, the self-empowering thing, and I do feel like that the Ace of Swords is very much about self-empowerment, but it's also got a lot to do with a lot of using your voice, speaking your truth, and it's got to be done with a lot of truth and gusto and conviction. And so I think June is going to not only be about you severing a lot of ties with people. I think perhaps that's your whole story that just kind of fell out, so I'm going to go with all of that. I think it's a lot to do with how you are just not staying silent. You're not staying silent on a lot of things. You may have been before. I do get this feeling of you having been quiet about certain things that you just don't think you want to be quiet about anymore. And using the voice of reason, I guess, is perhaps the truth here. And I think it is about the truth. It's about the utmost truth, right? And integrity. Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, the Moon, the 8 of Swords, the 10 of Wands, the 6 of Swords, the Death card, the Fool, the 3 of Pentacles, and the Justice card. Okay. Gemini. there's some sort of financial abundance that June is bringing forward to you. This could be a brand new home, a brand new financial opportunity, a job, a payout, a lottery win, some sort of financial windfall. But it comes from you knowing what you have to sever, okay? It comes from you knowing, I've got some lava rock here. It comes from you knowing what it is that you need to be very truthful about, okay? There's an element of integrity involved here, and so I think you're gonna have to really sharpen the sword of reason, okay? The Ace of Pentacles is about having that lucky break, that financial windfall, that win moment, something that really does feel like a win. The moon, I think this is the full moon in Sagittarius, is kind of going to open up and illuminate a little bit more about where it is that you may have kind of unnecessarily held yourself in exile, okay? I think you kind of need to wriggle out those ropes, the self-pity or the self-deprecation or holding yourself back or not feeling worthy enough. All of the reasons that you may have been given up until now, all of the things that you know are still hidden. I think these burdens that you've had to carry, this cross you've had to bear, you kind of reach the end of the road with a lot of the heavy weight that you've been carrying. And I think it's safe to say that you are moving forward towards a transformation and a new beginning. There is some sort of contract, a commitment, your part within something that really means that there's a lot of justice that's brought about, especially in regards to contracts or sacred unions. But I think it's safe to say that there's certain things that you've outgrown, Gemini. And you've got to be very honest about where it is that you know that you still have more to grow. And in order to do that, you might have to set off in a brand new direction. And I think if you really want to know if it's time to drop the burden and drop the weight, and the thing that had you really feeling backed into a corner, you kind of get the opportunity to see a lot of truths about a certain situation. And I think if it's felt burdensome and if it's felt heavy, right now is the time to drop the weight, Gemini. Your season is about the freedom, okay? And with a lot of energy of Mercury being in your sign and asking you to kind of have a good time, making decisions to step away from parts of yourself where you even held yourself in certain vibrations might be a really tough thing to do, but I think that's one that's going to have you really moving in the directions that you know that you kind of have to go in now. And so this transformation, this Scorpio energy, this Phoenix energy, and this real need for setting yourself free might allow you some grace to fall into contracts that you know are a lot more equal give and take and equal balance, Gemini. I think you know you've kind of outgrown certain situations. I think that's all I have for you, Gemini. If you enjoyed the reading, do give it a thumbs up. Please consider donating to the channel. It's always greatly appreciated. Do give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. I love it when you do that. Mwah. Have a wonderful June. Take care. Bye.